What is going on YouTube? It's DeezerHD here again, bringing you another stunning Cinema 4D tutorial. No, I'm just joking, it's DeezerHD. I don't know why I did that. Probably sounded nothing like him, but oh well. I've just come here, just made this tutorial for a few requests. I put up a preview of REALFLOW and asking if you wanted the tutorial, and a couple of guys said yeah. So I thought, yeah, I'll make the tutorial. And a couple of requests were, can you show me how to get REALFLOW for Mac? How did you get REALFLOW? And all I'm going to say back is, I'm not telling you. You can find it out because I'm aiming for a partnership eventually, and I'm not going to get one by showing you how to get programs for free, I'm afraid. So I'm sorry about that, but you have to find it somewhere else. Let's hop right into the tutorial, guys. First thing you want to do is go into Cinema 4D, extend your timeline to around 200 frames, not 2002, and just drag it out. Get a cube, say let's bump up the size to 400, 400 and 400. Maybe just zoom out a little bit. Hit C on your keyboard, get this selection tool here, select the top and delete it, and that's basically what I did for the first bit. I went to plugins and REALFLOW and REALFLOW SD exporter, clicked add all, made sure this end frame is on 200, and I just chose an output path. As you can see, I've already got one right here, REALFLOW 4 SD, so I'm going to use that one, but it's going to be exactly the same. So and I'll show you that when we open it up in REALFLOW. So once you've done that, just click export here. I can just close this project now. Right, so now we go into REALFLOW, and you can see I've got it here, and all I did was go import object. You find out where you saved it, and you'll see REALFLOW SD or whatever you saved it as. You click that and click open. I've already got mine in the scene. The first thing I actually added was a circle, so I went into these three ball shaped things, which are the emitters for the particles. I went into circle, and I moved it up a bit by using this navigation tool at the top. Went like this, I held Alt down so I could just rotate around this point, and I just scaled out each side so it's around about the same size, just like that, looking good. So it's just a tiny bit below, so we don't have it spilling over the edges at the start. So that's all good. Then we went over to the particles here, and I changed the density down to 500 and the internal pressure to 15, I think it was, yeah, 15. I then went down to the surface tension and put it as 2, and the compute vorticity down to yes. I put it on yes, and then you can see this tab here saying circle, and I just changed the V random to 5 and the H random to 3. And now if we click simulate, you can see, if I just click yeah, you can see our particles start to come out, which is all good. The next thing I did was I went into this red 3 arrows, the red 3 arrows, which is the demons tab, and I just got a gravity, and I just left the gravity as it is. And I went back into this tab and got a vortex, which is right under the wind here, and I put the rot strength to 15, and I just moved it up a little bit, just hold Alt, just span, just make sure it's up just a little bit so it spins when it gets in there. That's all good. So now we can just hit simulate, and you can see our particles start to go down, and what you want to do is then go into this green meshy type looking tab and just get a particle mesh standard and just leave that. And then you want to click reset, yep, and then just let it simulate all the way through. So that basically means it's rendering, and then when you get to frame 200 it will look like this if I just open up another project. which is the one from the preview, because I don't want to wait for it to re-render. So if I open this up, and you can see here I've got my full bars rendered, it's yellow, you can see all my particles are coming out here, and that's all good. And then once that's done, you want to go to export all, and when it's done that, it'll export everything for you, and we can go to RealFlow and quit RealFlow. Now we go back into Cinema 4D right here, and we're going to go to plugins, RealFlow. Actually, sorry, I'll just open up this project again, which is the one from the preview. So you can see right here we've got our project. I'll delete everything here apart from the cube, so you can see what I'm doing. And just delete this compositing tag, and if I let it there, we can see all I've got is a cube, so the same as you. That's all I have is a cube. Now all I did was went into plugins, RealFlow, RealFlow mesh importer, and actually after that I went to the cube and double click this bit here, this red dot, right mouse click the cube, Cinema 4D tags and compositing, and I literally unticked everything possible, which is everything there, so we don't ever see the cube. We don't see any reflections from the cube, we don't see any shadows from the cube, nothing, we don't want to see that. We next go into our RealFlow mesh importer, and the file path you want to click the dot dot dot, and what you'll do is you'll find your folder where you saved it, the project, or when you created a new project in RealFlow. You want to go into meshes and select the one that's 0000 at the start, and click open, just select that one, and you can see we've got all of our RealFlow here. You can render it, and obviously it doesn't look great with no lighting, etc., but if we can scrub through and everything like that, so that's all good. So I then created a new material, and I just made it completely white. Reflection, I put that on, put some Fresnel on, and I just think I put it to about 30 and 20%, just roughly, and I put that straight onto my particle mesh here. And then I added some lighting, which I used my dual softbox studio, which is good. I deleted the replace me thing, the camera, because I didn't need the camera. And then I went into my lights and scene, and I just changed my lights. Say we put some area shadows in there, and we just want to change the density down to about 30%, because when we have high density shadows, it does take a very long time to render, especially with the RealFlow. And I just made my lights a lot bigger, like this, so you can't really see them. And I may have just bumped the intensity up to about 100 and 100, just so it's a bit brighter as they're being zoomed out a bit. So that's all good. Now we can just scrub through, and we'll see that it does go into the perfect shape of our cube at the start, and we've got a really nice material. So if I do a render for you, it will take quite a while with the shadows and the lighting, and you can see it's a much better render than before, which is all really good. And we won't see any of our floor either, as when we go into when we select a floor, you want to make sure we cannot see it by the camera. So now, say if I render this region here, you're not going to see the floor at all, which is all good, because if you do see the floor just for the shadows, you'll see these bubbles or balls of water or whatever they are. They just look like they're disappearing through the floor, which isn't good, so make sure you can't see the floor. I then got a camera, and I just moved it into a really nice position where I can make sure that I can see everything. So I'm just going to make my softboxes a little bit bigger so I can't see them at all. There we go. And just scrub through, make sure you can see the whole scene at all times. So that looks alright for me. And then you want to do your render settings, output 1280 by 720, make sure it's on all frames. Save it wherever you want to save it as a QuickTime movie. I put the anti-aliasing on best animation 2x2, and that's basically it. Didn't do any global illumination or ambient occlusion in this. So I let that render, And now I'm just going to close this project down. I don't need it open as I've already rendered it. So we'll go into After Effects with my pre-rendered project. And we're going to click no because I don't want to save it. So I'm just going to close Cinema 4D. And we'll hop straight into After Effects now. So if I open After Effects for you. It does take quite a while to load with these plugins. Sorry about that. I'm going to go back into where we saved it, so I'll just put this on there. And we just want to get our movie that we rendered. You can see right here, we've got our RealFlow movie here. Really nice. And then it just ends right there. And you want to drag that into the project tab at the top, make sure you're on that. Go into and then just drag it in like this. And we'll see it's here in our project. We're going to drag it down to this black box. You can see we've got our animation in here, which is all good. I went to Layer, New, Adjustment Layer, hit Return, and rename this Color Correction. And I picked a nice point where you can see quite a few particles like this. I went to Effect and Magic Bullet Looks. If you don't have Magic Bullet Looks, then don't worry, just use the curves adjustment and things like that to get a really nice effect. And I think I'll pick a random one, let's say Berlin, and I'm just going to desaturate this a little bit to give it a bit more of a silvery look. And as you can see, this is with the color correction, that's without. So you'll obviously spend a lot longer picking a nice one. But I just picked a really quick one, the first one that I saw, so we can save the time basically. The next thing I did was select both layers, and I clicked Layer, Pre-Compose, and I just called this Clip, and hit Enter or Return. Then I went into Composition Settings, and I just doubled my timeline to, let's say, 12 and 42, because that's doubling my timeline. And I just dragged this out so we can see our full timeline. And I clicked Command C, V, and duplicated this clip and just dragged it right to the end where we can see it just goes straight into the next clip there. And I right mouse clicked on Clip, went to Time, Time Reverse Layer. And now you can see when we drag through it goes like this and goes bam and goes straight back in, which is all really nice. And that's basically what I did, and I added some nice sound effects and stuff. So that's the basic tutorial for the RealFlow, guys. I really hope it helped, and sorry I can't make tutorials on how to get RealFlow, but just search it and I'm sure you'll find it or something. I'll leave this link in this image link in the description. This is the still image from this exact render. I just got a still image, put some nice depth of field on, so go and check that one out as well. Thank you very much for watching. Just leave some nice comments and put your video responses on. I'd love to see your results as well. And just muck around with the settings, making sure just make something really cool, really creative. Basically, I just want to see what you can make from using this technique, and I'll probably bring out some more soon. But let me know what type of tutorials you want next. Thanks for watching, guys. Please like this video if you liked it, and see you in the next tutorial. Peace.